Yellowjackets returned this week with episode 3 of season 3, and it's safe to say that it was an interesting episode for sure, with a hallucinate dream sequence at the end which made us question everything that was occurring in the show, and also Ben being captured and being held prisoner following him saving Van from the deadly gas that was slowly killing her, Akilah, and Shauna inside of the cave. The next episode of the show looks like it's gonna be an eventful one, with division being formed amongst the group over what to do about Ben. With a trailer for the 4th episode recently being released, I thought it would be worth breaking it down and also giving my theories and predictions on what I think will happen next. So let's get into it. Here is Yellowjackets Season 3 Episode 4 Trailer Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. So the trailer for Episode 4 opened up with Ben being walked through the camp, and the line, "We have to make him pay for trying to kill us," was what echoed throughout the trailer and also through the camp. The haunting shot of Nat holding a gun showed the level of threat that Ben was facing, and it also showed that there was no way that he was going to be able to make a run for it without being stopped. Plus, it also highlighted that they were looking to get some kind of revenge for believing that he was the person that burned down the cabin in the season 2 finale. I wonder what kind of payment they're requiring from him. We know that Shauna was pretty much on a witch hunt for Ben with the way that she jumped on Mari when she returned to the camp. So I wonder if she's going to be the one that's pushing for him to be killed, kept prisoner, or even tortured until he admits the truth to them. He's obviously going to be viewed as a threat, but as we know, he may not have even been responsible for the fire, and he's going to have to do all the convincing that he can in order to stay alive. Judging by what happened at the end of episode 3 with the hallucinate dreams that were taking place, Van could well have been the person that started the fire, as there was a heavy focus in the vision about her and the fire, visions in which people had close connections to what they were watching develop. Or the fire could well have been an accident. There was a theory going around that the evil side of Ty could have been the person that caused the fire, and that Van knew and that she's keeping it secret, hence why the familiarity was there in her dream. So I think that's also a valid theory too. This was then followed by a line that was spoken by Lottie, who said, "Nat's right. It's always been for it to decide who lives or dies." So I think they're going to be holding some kind of ruling in which they'll decide whether they leave Ben's fate down to the wilderness or if they'll take things into their own hands. The fact that there was a scene where it looked like Nat had a makeshift gavel and sound block, a courtroom session will most definitely be taking woods in the wilderness. Another thing that supports this is that there was a clip of Shauna saying, "He's not one of us," as it looked like she was putting up an argument for a reason to find that Coach Ben was guilty. Judging by the dark hair, I imagine she's saying this to Lottie, and she's going to be looking to go against what Lottie is doing with the hopes of taking matters into her own hands rather than leaving it down to the wilderness to decide. Something that's going to cause division and show a sense of conflict, and will most likely tie into the conflicting mindsets that they have in the present day timeline over Callie and the fact that Lottie's trying to get involved with Shauna's daughter. So I feel we'll see Lottie not quite being prepared to leave Callie and Shauna be in the present day timeline just yet. The next part of the trailer then had Lottie looming over Travis like the dark force that she is, and she handed him a painting that looked as though it was on a piece of bark. The painting was something that looked as though it symbolized some kind of sacrifice. We know that Lottie has been fixated on the darkness that Travis is closely connected to, so I imagine she's probably showing Travis this painting because she wants to highlight to him what the wilderness wants. Maybe she's going to be trying to make out that Akilah could be the sacrifice that the wilderness wants, as Travis did say that she was deeply connected to it. Following this, there was then a line in the trailer that was spoken by Misty, and she said, "I'm sticking my neck out for you. Do not make me look stupid." We know that Misty previously had a crush on Coach Ben, and with the way that Misty is, she seems to do anything with the hopes of getting some kind of attention from anybody, especially if it's formed in an overbearing way. So if Misty sticks up for Coach Ben and manages to keep him alive, I feel she's going to be demanding and full on with him moving forward. This most likely means that we're going to be seeing Misty representing Coach Ben and finding some way of protecting him. Within the trailer, we then cut to the present day timeline and we saw Van and Taissa together. And boy, that definitely didn't seem like the Taissa that we know so well. It felt like evil Taissa was at the wheel, and between Ty and Van, Ty said, "I need more time with you." To which Van responded and said, "But not like this." I think this is most likely tied into the fact that Ty said how she knew what the wilderness wanted, and that she said that it wanted more when she saw the coyote with the rabbit in its mouth inside of the ice cream parlor. So I feel like Van is going to have a sense of guilt in her survival, being linked to the fact that there has to be innocent people that end up dying and being sacrificed in the process. Do I think Ty is going to go on some kind of killing spree? Definitely not. But if the wilderness is saying that it wants more and they'll be rewarded if death is brought to it, Ty does hear the wilderness and it hears her, so I imagine she's going to find a way to facilitate what the darkness wants in order to spend more time with Van, whether Van wants people to die or not. In the next part, we then heard the line, "Somebody's trying to hurt you for what you did," being spoken to Shauna. This is following all of the strange occurrences that have been happening to her in the first 3 episodes, such as the tape being left on the doorstep which Callie got, the phone which was deliberately left for her in the bathroom, and also the cutting of the brakes in her car. It seemed like Misty was looking into it in some way, and it was almost implying that it was Misty that was responsible for all this. But I definitely don't think it is. I think it's the character Melissa, as we've not seen her in the present day. However, we do know that Hillary Swank has been cast as the character and is set to be involved in Season 3, so I think it's going to be her. It also seems like Shauna's going to find herself in another difficult situation in the next episode, as there were a couple of shots where she found herself getting locked in a freezer and struggling to find a way out. Whilst she was trapped there, she said the line, "I can take it," and then, as has always been present with Shauna throughout the most recent seasons of the show, she had a vision which contained Jackie, and Jackie said, "You never could," as she was also covered in ice. Showing that by this point in the episode, Shauna will have most likely been trapped in there for quite a while. With this section being intercut with the clip of Nat hitting the makeshift gavel onto the tree trunk, I wonder if what Shauna is being punished for in the present day is connected to everything that's going on with Ben, and the apparent hatred that she has for him during the wilderness timeline. It seems like she's going to be gunning for his death, so I wonder if all of this is going to be coming back to get her. Then with that, the trailer concluded. The title for the next episode is called 12 Angry Girls and One Drunk Travis, so I would say that this is probably relatively self-explanatory, in the sense where the girls are going to be angry because they've found Ben and they're going to be looking for ways to make him pay for believing that he burned down the cabin. And I think that Travis is most likely going to be acting differently, or drunk as the show has put it, because he's probably going to want to drown out the noises that he keeps hearing and the dark thoughts that Lottie's been embedding within his mind, as it's probably all he can think about. There are genuinely so many different directions that the next episode of the show could go in, but this is the main direction that I think it'll take based on the events that occurred in the trailer. So, there you have it, Yellowjackets Season 3 Episode 4 Trailer Explained. If you want to see more videos on Yellowjackets Season 3 being broken down, then click on the card in the top corner. There'll be a playlist there, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think will happen next? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.